Hi there, everybody. Happy Monday morning and welcome into Undisputed. We're so glad you're with us after watching England's big win. I'm Jen Hale here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp, and I'm curious who's going to be gloating more today, gentlemen.
Boom! 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 40-3. 40 to what? Wait a minute. 40-3? Are you? Let me say it one more time. 40-3.
Yep.
Say it with me, Shannon.
No.
How about them Cowboys? Super Bowl, here we come. I love the taste of Diet Mountain Dew in the morning, the breakfast of champions, the nectar of the gods. I tried to warn you, and it happened. Right before your very eyes, it happened.
You've been trying to get Dak benched the whole year, but go ahead. But go ahead. Let's go, Jerry.
Let's jump right in. I know Skip is so happy about this one. Yes, indeed. The Cowboys had their biggest road win in franchise history yesterday. They beat the Vikings, as Skip mentioned, 40-3. Yes, you heard that correctly. After the game, Jerry Jones shared his high hopes for his team when asked if they look Super Bowl bound.
A resounding yes. Yes. Unequivocally yes. I think we've had adversity. We very easily could have some more adversity. But if we can get in there healthy and still have games like the last two we just had on the road, and we've got a deal coming up here this weekend, Thanksgiving Day. These Giants are playing really good football. They're a good football team. And so, yes, I think if we use the experience of what we're having in the season, then we're going to be playoff ready. But I sure do think that what I see out here right now is the team like that you could go get a Super Bowl with.
Total domination, but a short week. Shannon, did you see a Super Bowl team yesterday?
If you tell me they're going to play like they played yesterday, which might have been the most complete game that a team has played offensively, defensively, and special teams this entire season, there might have been a better defensive game played by a team. There might have been a better offensive game played by a team. There might have been a better special teams game played by a team. But if you combine all three phases, it's going to be hard-pressed for you to find a team that was in complete domination like the Cowboys were against an 8-1. That's a good football team. Maybe you might say, well, they're overrated. Okay, even if you say they're overrated, they're still 8-1. They still was the number one seed in the NFC at the time. They were playing really good football. Dalvin Cook can run it. Justin Jefferson Thielen, they got good receivers. Hawkinson, he leaves a lot to be desired. Now I see why why the Detroit Lions gave up on a Pro Bowl tight end.
Bingo.
And only 3 years into his career.
Yep.
If you tell me, Skip, they're going to play like this, they get to the playoffs, not like this, because you're not going to have a game like this. But if you can play consistent football, yes, they have a chance. Now, are you going to tell me Dak Prescott is going to have a field sim Super Bowl game? Because that's what he had yesterday, 22-25. That was as good as Dak Prescott have ever played in his entire life.
Agreed.
Are you going to tell me Tony Pollard is going to take a swing pass out of the backfield and go hit his head on the goalpost from 35, 40 yards away? Probably not. But the pass that Dak caught him on the linebacker, he swung out the backfield, got him one-on-one with, I think it's Kendricks. And was it Kendricks or Hicks? But anyway, it's one of those linebackers. Tony Pollard just stuck his hands up, and the ball said, boop, right in his hands. And if you tell me Brett Maher, I don't know, that's some bull jive. He kicks a 60-yard field goal, and then they say, nah, we got to review the play that happened 3 minutes ago.
Never seen it happen before in an NFL game where you took a play away because you were late on the draw.
I thought that once a play is run, you couldn't go back and review.
Thank you.
But I guess you can now.
But what did he do? He did it again.
And he made it look
even easier.
But you know what? Now you got to let that Mason crossbar go because he started that ball like 7-8 yards outside the right upright.
The first one?
Yes. I was like, oh, he missed this one. And it just
hooked right
back in. Mm-hmm. Are you going to tell me that they're going to outgain their opponent by 285 yards in the game? Probably not. But Skip, what I saw yesterday, yes, this team can get to a Super Bowl. Now, also, I saw a team last week go on the road and give up a 14-point lead. But yesterday was complete domination, and Michael got the party started early, a strip sack on Kirk Cousins, and you know it was going to be a foreshadowing of things to come.
Yep.
Jerry, look, I'm not going to take what Jerry says because Jerry says this every year. He said the exact same thing last year, and then he was very disappointed. He said he's never been so disappointed after the 49ers beat him. But, Skip, yesterday was a total dismantling of a very good football team. Not a great, of a very good football team. And the Cowboys took them apart like they were a 2-8 team, not an 8-1 team. So, yes, if they play like what they played yesterday, yes, they can get there. But that defense, as great as the offense played yesterday, and Dak was sensational. Tony Pollard was sensational. Offensive line did a great job of opening holes and protecting Dak. Skip, that defense was relentless. Kirk Cousins couldn't even get to the top of his drop, and he was getting hit in the back of his head, or he's getting hit in the face. It was 1 minute it was Fowler, and then it was Armstrong, and then it was Micah, and then they bring the safety on the blitz, and then it was the Williams kid, and then it was this one, and it was like, hey, it's my turn, hold up. DQ, just call anything. That's a great place to be if you're a D coordinator. You can call any defense, and you got guys that can go get home. Yes, Skip, if you tell me this one game, it was one game, but if you tell me this was the most complete game that I've seen a team play, of all the games that's been played in 10 weeks, 11 weeks, however many weeks we've been playing, this is the most complete game that I've seen a team put on tape yet.
Shannon Sharp, Hall of Famer, I give you credit for opening this show with a very balanced and objective view of what happened yesterday, thanks to my Dallas Cowboys.
It was destruction. I know you were happy.
Destruction. It was spectacular. I don't have any problem with what Jerry said after the game, because I was thinking and feeling and about to leap toward the same conclusion.
How much would you have put? And there's somebody who said, how many points do you think the Cowboys are going to beat the Vikings back? If somebody said they're going to beat them by 2 touchdowns, were you taking that bet?
No. They were 8-1.
Skip.
They were on a roll. They were riding a magic carpet.
In back-to-back weeks, you've done something you've never done in franchise history. You give up a 14-point lead entering the fourth quarter, and then you have the most lopsided victory on the road in your franchise history in back-to-back weeks.
And they had just shocked Buffalo at Buffalo with an all-time great comeback featuring an all-time great catch.
Correct.
By the way, Justin Jefferson, I told you last week, we held him to 2 for 21 a year ago. How about 3 for 33? Will that work?
That ain't Justin Jefferson. If you can't protect Skip, once Darisaw, first of all, Darisaw gave up the sack to begin with. So he was going to have tough sledding had he not gone out. So now you take one of the best offensive linemen out. Man, it was piranhas on meat.
Okay. I'm going to step back. I'm going to gather myself, and I'm going to give you my objective and balanced opinion of what happened to my Dallas Cowboys yesterday. There it was, tour de force. That was a Super Bowl blueprint, and it possibly could have been a Super Bowl showcase, because that's the kind of team that can go win a Super Bowl. So Jerry was just saying what he was seeing. I'm saying what I was seeing yesterday, because, to your point, I haven't seen a team play a better game all year in total. I haven't seen Dak Prescott play a better big game. I'm talking about a big, high-stakes, high degree of difficulty game since he won his one and only playoff game, which happened on January the 5th in early 2019, following the 2018 season, at home against Russell Wilson and then the Seattle Seahawks. If you can find me a better game that Dak has played since that game, they pulled that game out 24-22, and Dak did it with his arm and his legs. And they shut down the Seahawks, who were leading the league in rushing. They came in and they just shut them down and shut them out. I haven't seen my team play a game like that game since that game. So yesterday was one of those rare days when you hit on every Super Bowl cylinder. I predicted this team will get to the NFC Championship game, and I believe it with all my heart and soul. They can at least get to their first NFC Championship game in 27 years since the last Super Bowl season, which followed 1995 regular season into early 1996. Dak Prescott, yes, I have been hard on him because he deserved for me to be hard on him. I have doubted him because he gave me nothing but game after game to doubt. And yesterday, he lived up to Cooper Rush, who played his signature game in his first NFL start a year ago right there in that building on Sunday Night Football, and Dak eclipsed that with 22 of 25. Dak finally lived up to the contract that Jerry Jones looked across the table at him and said, I overpaid you for. Dak finally lived up to all those national TV commercials, the Sleep Number, the Housewives, the Direct TV commercials, all those. He lived up and maybe even eclipsed all those in one game. Okay, so now, was that a predictor or an indictment? Because obviously, if you can't follow it up, we're all going to look back and say, uh-oh, that was an indictment.
Skip, I don't think anybody's expecting him to follow this up. But what they are looking for him to do is to be consistent. He had a good game going last week against Green Bay until he threw a pick in the end zone. I mean, Skip, he was flawless up until that point. Think about it, they would go up and down the field. And it's just the two plays. He avoided the mistake that, Skip, he for the first time in a long time, he didn't put raisins in the potato salad, and it turned out to be a great dish at the end. Yeah. And yesterday,
you don't like raisins?
No potato salad. No, hell no, I don't. Nobody does.
I made tons of potato salad in my life in my little hole-in-the-wall barbecue restaurant.
You didn't put raisins?
We didn't put any.
Okay, raisins. That's what I'm saying.
But so, I never thought of that. It sounded pretty good.
He didn't mess up your dish yesterday.
He did not. My team didn't turn it over a single time yesterday. My team really did not much wrong yesterday. I'm not.
Not much. What do you want?
I'll get there in just a moment. But again, we're Mike McPenalty. What do we have? Well, it wasn't that bad. But the point is, yesterday, to me, for once and for all, Tony Pollard emerged as the most explosive and the most valuable back in all of football. And we're going to get to this in a few minutes, but to me, you can have Saquon Barkley. I respect him. I fear parts of him. I'll take Tony Pollard. We'll get to that in a moment. But yesterday, tour de force on display again from number 20. It's why I believe he should start over Zeke, but they're not going to do it because they're going to honor Zeke. They're going to respect the elder statesman, a guy who is so respected in the locker room because he plays so hellishly hard.